Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, ours is a pleasure to have with us this morning a warm, wonderful lady, an athlete at the top of her game, one who has blazed a trail of scintillating performances all over the world, one who has excelled because of her high standard of discipline, her dedication to task, and her commitment to excellence. A motivator, an achiever, a powerful woman who is not afraid to encourage other women and girls. An ambassador for Jamaica. Someone who we can say we nurtured at some point in time. Please welcome to address us, Mrs. Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, OD.
Finally, I am standing at a mic that is shorter than me, and I don't have to pull it down. Okay. Dr. Adolph Cameron, Mr. Mark Nicely, Mrs. Edna Barkley, Mrs. Barbara Gascoigne, Mr. Hewitt Johnson, Mrs. Alicia White, coaches, teachers, students, sponsors, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning.
Morning. First of all, I'm really excited to be the patron for this JTA Sagicor National All-Island Championship. It is something for me that has been memorable because I started out competing from a very young age. A lot of persons would ask, how long have you been running? And I say forever. Too long. But I started at every single level you can think of. And I think me standing here has a lot to do with the fact that you had dedicated coaches. You had teachers also who dedicated their time and their effort to making sure that we excel in what we do. And nothing could stand in the place of the sponsors, because with sponsors, the continuation of a meet such like this one is important for our athletes and our students overall, for the development of our nation athletics. And I must commend, first of all, Sagicor for being one of those companies that has always stood first, have always done what they needed to do to make sure that Jamaica's children have a future and will be able to participate in an environment that is conducive to excellence, competition, and being prepared overall. So in 1997 or thereabouts, please don't guess my age. In 1997 or thereabout, 98, I remember being a part of the All-Island Championship. At that time, it was Blue Cross who had control of sponsorship. And I remember getting my green and white jersey to compete. And of course, St. Andrew was the parish that was very big. And I remember participating with one of my schoolmates. At that time, I attended George Headley Primary School. And his name was Sheldon Forbes. And I remember competing with a young man from Duane Park Primary. He was Duffus. And I remember our coach sitting right there at the back. And I remember how excited I was to be competing against, different persons from all over Jamaica. Yes, at that time we weren't going to a high school championship or anything, but it felt so big, it felt huge. And I think what it did for us as athletes, it gave us the opportunity to not only compete, but to form friendships, to understand what it is and how important is it to compete and participate and have fun. And that is something that has kept me going as an athlete. And when I left primary school and I went to high school, it was a transition, but it was something that I think I got used to. The competition is something that I'm used to, because being a part of the JTA championships, it wasn't no flanky thing, it was big thing. So if you wanted to come out on top, you would have to go there, you would have to deliver. And when Kingston came and all the other parishes came and they were decked out in their black and their orange and what color they were wearing, of course, St. Andrew always stood tall, right? But, it was something that for me, I understand how important it is for athletes, especially to have the environment to compete and to show their skills and their talent that I know the Lord has blessed them with. And for them it is something important, because a lot of them would not have known this type of competition in the basic level in going up. And for me, I had the privilege of participating at every championship you can think about. And for them, this is the beginning of what will be a lifetime for them if they want to take it further. And it helps to develop not only the athletic side of them, but also the personal side of them, the side that would understand what discipline is, and not only something that they take on the track, but off the track, in the school, in the classroom, how they deal with their peers, how they respond, to adversary, and how they, tackle some of the obstacles that life has to face. And that is what being a part of a championship like this gives you. So when I started, thinking about being a full-time athlete, I was excited. I didn't know, I remember in 2006 actually, when I went to the University of Technology to start training, I remember speaking to one of my colleagues, and I said to him that, I was thinking about, going to UTech and maybe becoming one of those top athletes. At that time, I wasn't really sure. I didn't make up my mind as to what I wanted to do. And he said to me, don't think about the Olympics now, you're too young for the Olympics, and stuff like that. And, if I was a person who took things to heart and dwelled on them, maybe I would have given up and think that, I'm too young for the Olympics. Maybe in 2012 I can start thinking about the Olympics. But I want to tell all of you students who are seated here that nothing is impossible, no matter how small you are, no matter the persons that tell you that you can't. If you believe and if you work hard, because a lot of persons would say that, when things happen, they would say, oh, I'm lucky, but luck favors the unprepared. Persons who didn't prepare would think that they're lucky. But you have worked hard, and if you are prepared well, then when you get it, it's not luck, it's because of your hard work, because of your dedication, because of the persons who took the time. The persons who took the time to make sure that, you train well, you eat well, you develop the total athlete that you are. And I just want to say a big kudos to the coaches, to the parents, to every single person who has a part to play in the students' lives, to JTA, to Sagicor, for giving them hope, for giving them a future, for giving them something to work towards, to understand that, a lot of times it's getting very hard now economically. It's getting very hard. But at the same time, we have to commend the sponsors who step up to make sure that the future for young athletes is in good hands, because we need them just as much as they need us. So it's a partnership that I think will last a lifetime, and they'll understand I'm standing here as a product of the JTA, and here I am today. When I crossed that line in 2008 and I became Olympic champion, yes, I became Olympic champion. Yes, it was overwhelming. It was something that was so surreal for me. But at the same time, I understood completely what it was. It wasn't the fact that I went to the University of Technology in 2006 and I was coached by Stephen Francis. It wasn't that. It wasn't that, I worked hard. I tell you exactly what it was. It's the effort that every single person in the journey of life took me through. It's not one person. A lot of persons would think that success is just that one person. It has to do with a lot of persons who impacted your life in a positive way. And I must say, from starting basic to primary, going into the All-Ireland Parish Championship, going into high school championship, going into college championship, every single thing paved the way to the person who I am today. And that's who you are. So don't take this as, it's just another me. This will pave the way for you to become great women and great men in the future. You look back on today, standing here, maybe next 10 years, one of you will be an Olympic champion or a world champion and will be standing here as patron as well. But it definitely shows how important it is for our nation to support our children, no matter how difficult it is, no matter how, it may seem as if it's a far-fetched. But what you will realize is that the young men and young women that you would have sent out in the world are persons that will impact this country in a positive way, and you would want them to impact the country in a positive way, because a lot of times you find a lot of companies, they shy away from stepping up and making a difference in some of these young people's life, because if you start out from there very small, there's so much we can do for them. And that's why I have a passion for children, because I understand how important it is to curve them at this time, to make sure that you give them the support, the attention, not just financially, but emotionally, every single thing that you want, to make sure that when you send them out into society, they become men and women who have value, who stands for something. And I'm really, really excited to be a part of this JTA Sagicor Parish Championship, and I wish you guys all the success. I wish that you continue to grow from strength to strength, and I pray that the Lord will continue to bless you, and may every single thing that you decide to do from here on be blessed. And I hope it continues. I pray that your store basket will never be empty. I pray that this championship will go on and on and on until maybe I'm granny. But thank you so much. Thank you.